And we are live. Back, I guess, is what I should say. I've got Ime Ntekpere. Is that right?
Ntekpere.
I did it wrong on purpose because you just corrected me a minute ago. Ime, how you doing, brother? I met Ime in person just actually a couple of weeks ago. And Ime, you've been a part of our community for a long time. You first became a member of Tackle Trading. When was that?
Officially a member 2015 at the fall time.
So in 2015, and you live in the Seattle area, but you're not originally from Seattle. What's your background?
I'm from the Portland area, Portland, Oregon area, which is 2.5 hours from Seattle. Moved up here and I lived in a couple places before living here. Lived in Georgia for a while. Have a lot of family in Georgia, a lot of family in Nigeria, some family in Portland, but moved up here to do my job and then
got it.
Doing the Seattle thing and trading thing, man.
Yeah, I like it a lot. You know, the Southeast, Florida, Georgia, that area is very different than the Northwest, Portland, Seattle, I'm sure. But there's good money, there's good jobs, and Seattle's a beautiful place. Now, I've invited you on here today for our 5 questions, this thing that I've been doing with my traders lately. And I think you're going to have a lot of fun. I want to get down right to it. First question, why did you get into trading?
Why did I get into trading? Well, to be honest, Tim, it's always something that intrigued me when I was younger. And when I had the opportunity to go to a trading seminar and a class, I connected with it right away. I heard your brother, Matt Justice, and he really is a good presenter, and I was already interested. And he just kind of reassured me throughout that whole 3 days that this was the right path for me. And it's been awesome, man. It's definitely something I clicked with, and it's a lifetime skill. It's not something that's going to go away like tomorrow, you know, like it's pretty much, it's always going to be here. It's been here for years and years. Trading has always been part of the world. So
I love it. You know, and what's interesting about that, you and I were talking beforehand, and I'm just getting to know you on a deeper level recently. And I didn't know this about you before, but you do jujitsu and martial arts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yep.
Yeah. So constant personal development, and you're in a Toastmasters group. Is that right?
Yes, I am. I'm Toastmaster.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. So you're doing all kinds of things like trading and financial education and physical, self-development. I think it's pretty awesome. It all fits together. You know, I've seen success with people who are driven in many different areas in life. So I think it's awesome. Number 2, what is your trading edge? What do you think you're best at?
Well, to be honest, I am probably more of a cash flow trader.
Mm-hmm.
Aya condors, credit spreads, system type, those type of things where it's time based. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a time trader.
Yeah. You know, there in that ballroom, I know that you had a chance to kind of network with a few other traders from there in Seattle, and many of them are also cash flow traders. And we've got a lot of cash flow traders out there in our communities. And there's a reason. I say this all the time. You can find your edge in a lot of different ways. You can become profitable and a good trader in many different fields. Theta and cash flow just seems to be one of the more common ones, because as people are working their busy lives, you have an advantage through time decay. I think it's a great answer. Number 3, what is your daily routine?
My daily routine starts I get up at 4:30 every day,
Mm-hmm.
and I work out, and then I'm in front of my computer by 5:45, and I'm basically going through the markets. I got my whole checklist thing. So it's right in front of my computer, and I just go through it. I look at the news. I look at the S&P, go through all the steps as far as Russell 2000, Dow Jones. I check my positions, and if I need to make any adjustments, I will. If not, then it's pretty much about 30 minutes each morning, and sometimes 30 minutes in the evening, just going through, scanning through the markets and making notes. And if I see something as far as from one of the reports, I might do a paper trade, but for the most part, it's pretty simple. Just making sure nothing crazy is going on,
Yeah, I like it. I'm an early morning guy myself. Many days 4:45 as well. Some days not. And some days it's 6 o'clock in the morning, but somewhere in there. And I don't even need an alarm, by the way. My body, my brain, we just get up, we're ready to go. And I need to start thinking about working out in the morning for consistency, because one thing I've found, I've been trying to get back to the gym more lately. You're a trader, you're in your desk all the time, you're sedentary. It's a lifestyle. So, I was trying to do it in the afternoon, but I tend to get busy in my days. Maybe I'll try the morning. I think it's a good idea. Consistency and habit forming are important in anything in life, right? And so your trading, if you get it down to 30, 45 minutes in the morning when the markets are open West Coast time, I think it's perfect time to do it. And I love it. Look, great answer. What are your trading goals? What do you want out of all this stuff? Let's say 2019 and beyond.
Well, the whole thing that sold me on the cash flow icon or system was this idea of an ATM machine. And ATM machine for my personal and ATM machine for my business, meaning I'm still doing all the other things, but in the background, I have my cash flow systems that I can go through and pull money from if I need to use it. So it's financial freedom and security.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Financial freedom, security, and a market as an ATM machine. I got to tell you, as a mentor, I would want you to reframe that because the market. No, it's a fine answer. It's just that the ATM machine doesn't always work. Sometimes you put your credit card and it takes money from you. We do understand this, right, Ime?
Yeah, there's the $3 charge for sure.
I love it. All right, number 5. What advice would you give a brand new trader?
It's funny. People always ask me about trading, and the first thing I always tell them is to get education, and I always recommend people to tackle trading. It's that's kind of how I stay connected with you guys as far as getting on tackle and getting in there and just clicking buttons, man. Matt used to always say, just go in there and start clicking buttons and see what happens. So
yeah, click the damn buttons, right?
Just click the button.
Yeah.
Education is the key, but not just any type of education, but education from traders and actual investors and people that are actually in the market and doing the day-to-day stuff like yourself. So.
Dude, I'll tell you, I think it's really good advice. You have to start taking action. One thing I've found in just my life as an entrepreneur, as somebody who works from home, who has many different business interests, including the financial markets and my speaking. I go out and travel for legacy and coaching and other things I do, even just being a father. You get pulled in so many directions, right? And when you decide to do something, you got to get something done. Sit down, get to work, and click the buttons. When you're a new trader, remember, there's paper trading for a reason. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. A mistake is a part of your learning process and your growth process. So I love that answer. Ime, you are a scholar and a gentleman, and you're damn likable, I got to tell you. Big smiles, my friend. Yeah.
Smile is great. One thing too, Tim, to that paper trading, before I went live, I paper traded for about a year and a half. So just practicing different systems. So
I was talking to somebody about this the other day. You remember the famous story of Richard Dennis? Richard Dennis, I'm going to give you an idea here. There's so many books.
I got my pen and paper. Oh.
Get this book, okay, number 1. This guy, Curtis Faith, he's one of the original turtle traders, and it's one of the most famous stories in the history of the markets, right? The turtles, they were trained by a guy named Richard Dennis in 1983 and 1984, and it became market lore. And this book is Curtis' kind of journey and his approach, and it's great for back testing. That's not the only thing here. The guy who taught him, his name is Richard Dennis. Richard spent 4 years back testing his systems before he took them live. Okay. So a year and a half of paper trading, I think that's really a responsible thing. You got to do the live stuff when you get it. Now, I'm always a believer, and there's a process, right? Paper, and then you go into live small, okay? And then you increase your size over time. So that transition from knowing nothing to practicing to live trading is then a small account, right? Or something where you're just doing a contract or two. And then as you develop and improve your consistency, then you can increase the position size over time. But you got to paper trade first, and whether it's 1 month or 1.5 years, whatever it is for that person's journey, I think it's great advice. Yeah. Even the market greats do that. So I think smart, Ime. Awesome. Hey, man, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. And, guys, Trading Justice is a podcast. You can find it on iTunes and on our website, tradingjustice.com. And Ime, I love what you said. Tackle trading is an amazing community. And we've got traders from all over the world. I know we've got a lot up there in Seattle. Thank you for being a part of that community. That's pretty awesome.
Awesome, man. Really appreciate you having me on. Thanks for having me.
Go tackle. Yeah, go tackle.